Well, hey there, everyone, and welcome to Energy Gal Holistic Wellness. I'm Lisa, spiritual guide and intuitive healer. And today we're talking about making bread. Kind of. Today I'm going to be doing my best to answer in a most practical manner a question that I've had come up from a number of listeners. And that is, what do you mean by alchemizing? You'll say things like, and so in this space, you can alchemize blah, 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 blah. And what do you mean by that? And it's a darn good question. Now, I want to precede this by telling you I have not done any research online. I don't know what anyone else out there, either in the scientific or the spiritual world, is unpacking or explaining when it comes to what is alchemy. What I have done is I have sat with my own thoughts and guides and said, what does alchemy mean to me? And how am I applying it and using that term? And how is it showing up for the collective in this season in the earth? So that's what we're talking about today. I am using the example to start with of baking a loaf of bread. So you know that when it comes to baking bread, you've got flour, some salt, a little bit of water, maybe a little bit of sugar. Sometimes people put an egg in there depending on what kind of bread, okay? And you have all those separate ingredients. Add a little bit of yeast, and then you put it all together. You let it rise for a little bit, pound it back down again. Let it rise for a little bit, pound it back down, and let it rise, put it in the oven, and in that space of heat, the yeast is activated, and there you go. Now you've got some bread. So you have just alchemized, you've changed matter into a different kind of matter, okay? So you've got the flour, the baking soda, the salt, the water, the yeast. You have all of these elements, all of these physical elements that are part of bread, but you need to mix them together, pull them all together, add that warm water, add some time, add some heat, and then you come up with a completely different matter. All of those things chemically change their, not their presentation, they change their chemistry so that when they mix with each other, they become something else altogether. So that's alchemy. All right, so we alchemize on our awakening, emerging spiritual journeys. We alchemize. But what does that mean? And bring it down to practicality. I'm on my way. I have written here on my notes, alchemy is transmuting. It is changing matter into a different form of matter. So it's the transmutation from one thing to another thing. So then I've got written down here, we need to remember that a thought isn't just this ethereal nothingness. A thought has substance. It is a frequency that can become a particle. You can see what someone is thinking. You can know what a person is thinking by observing them. Thoughts manifest. Thoughts have matter. Thoughts take on form. Okay, so let me give you an example. You can tell what someone values by how much time they spend and how much money they spend on different things in their life. So if there is someone who spends a lot of time listening to music and spending a lot of money on iTunes you know that for them, what their thought pattern is, music is important, or even music is important to me. If you get someone who spends a good amount of money getting their nails done and getting other spa treatments, maybe getting a little lift and tuck here, then what their thought pattern is, what I look like, and how I feel, how I present myself is important to me. So you see that you can see what someone is thinking by how they are living their life. Now, someone may not even know that that's what they're thinking. It may be a subconscious thought pattern, but you can observe it by what's going on in their lives, and we'll get to that. I have also written down in my notes, all of these things show up in the body as lack of peace, dis-ease. All of these things that I'm going to share with you now show up in the body as dis-ease. I am worthless. I am so angry. I don't feel loved. I don't feel lovable. I am scared I won't be able to provide for my family. I am furious at that woman. I have to keep quiet and never voice my opinion or my desires or needs. Whether we realize it or not, all of those thought patterns show up in the body, in the form, in the matter of dis-ease. So thoughts carry the potentiality for creating matter. Thoughts have the potential to create matter. Thoughts potentially create matter. Thoughts create matter. Okay. I have written here, these thoughts may be conscious or they may be subconscious. And when you alchemize a thought, which is what I'm talking about, you are creating a different thought. When you alchemize a thought, you are changing one thought into another thought. You are reframing, re-narrating, restoring from one thought pattern into another thought pattern. And then inevitably this changed thought will manifest as changed matter, changed body, health, changed manifestation in the physical body, and ultimately create a new reality. I know that these are big. I'm trying my best to break it down and make it be very chewable, very feet on the earth, understandable. Okay, let's just review this last little part again. These thoughts that we have, both conscious and subconscious, that are manifesting in our body and creating our reality, can be alchemized, can be changed when we reframe them, re-narrate them, restore them, so that when they are changed, when those thought patterns are changed, they will create inevitably a change in matter, a metamorphosis manifestation in our bodies, and ultimately a brand new reality. Because thoughts carry potentiality to change reality, to change matter, to change our worlds. Okay, I know that I haven't exactly explained what alchemy is yet. I've just explained that thoughts create our world. So if we change our thoughts, if we alchemize those thoughts, we will then create a new reality, a new world. Okay? Remember the ingredients that we needed for bread? the salt and the flour and the baking soda and the yeast and the water. Well, here are the ingredients that we need along our emerging, awakening, transforming, transmuting, metamorphosis, going from caterpillar to pupa to butterfly, to going from 3D to 4D to 5D. Here are the ingredients that we need. A memory, a thought, emotions. Here's the alchemy. You allow yourself to feel your feelings, to think your thoughts, and allow all of this to be felt down into the physical body, to pull the thoughts that you're having that are manifesting in the body, to pull them all the way down into the body in an awareness. Oh, wow, my left hip is really, really bothering me, you say, as I think of this particular situation that happened with this person. I'm really feeling the pain down into my left hip, to become so body conscious and to listen to the wisdom of the body. Okay? To allow those memories, those thoughts, those emotions to be expressed in your physical body, to be held, to be seen, to be honored. Now, how do you hold a feeling? How do you see a feeling? How do you honor a feeling? You allow it to manifest in your body, and you give it your attention, and you treat it as if it's a little child that needs love, that needs to be assured that it is loved, that it is seen, and that it is safe. And you allow that memory, that thought, that emotion to be there in your awareness and in your presence for as long as it desires, for as long as it needs, not making it right or wrong, not judging it, but just allowing the experience. This is the start of alchemy. This is the start of taking a thought pattern like I am worthless, which you extrapolated from being picked last at gym class during your 5th grade year. You are changing that thought pattern that may be conscious or subconscious by remembering, then thinking, then feeling, and allowing that to be pulled into the body and felt for as long as it wants to be felt. And you see it, and you honor it, and you listen to it, and you speak kindly to it, and you hug it, and you remind it, I am here for you, and I will never leave you, never forsake you. I will not judge you. I won't make you wrong. I will allow you to be. And you allow yourself to sink into that experience and witness the pain. And there'll come a time, promise you, I've experienced it so many times in my own journey and in others as well. There'll come a time when you are then ready to be grateful for the experience. You're like, oh, well, yeah, It actually does happen if you allow, without judgment, without making it right or wrong, without hurrying it along. Come on, I got things I got to do. You got to hurry up. And no, you're in an Epsom salt bath. You're sitting in the hot tub, you're sitting under a tree, you are hanging out during a sound bath with frequencies, and you are allowing whatever it is to come up and then go back down into the body, and you create safe space for it. And as it comes to the end, and there comes an end to the acute raw feeling of it. I promise you, even the toughest things, the most uncomfortable, the most unfamiliar, you'll find yourself being able to breathe. And in that space of breathing, you'll be able to know, oh my goodness, there was a reason in all of this. Here's the gold that I can glean from this. There's all the sparkles and the glitter. And gratitude comes forth. Gratitude is the yeast that allows the final change, allows the bread to rise. Gratitude is the yeast that allows for that alchemy to finally occur. Because in that space now, you are ready to introduce a new thought pattern that will then be integrated into the body, and a new reality will then form. Because matter has the potentiality, or thought has the potentiality to create matter. It's what it does. And when you change your thoughts, you change your world. And now you know how. Through this alchemization journey. Now, I want to tell you that being grateful isn't saying, I am just so glad it happened. You may get to that point. I know on some of my journeys, I've been surprised to say, oh my God, I'm really glad that that happened. And I do believe that as we continue, because the alchemy continues, it's just layer after beautiful, magical layer that takes you deeper, deeper, deeper into the truth of your true identity as consciousness, as love, as God. Layer after beautiful layer after beautiful layer. And maybe you will get to the point where you realize, I'm glad it happened. And not only that, but there was nothing to forgive. This was all part of the plan. But what gratitude is, dear soul, is a feeling in the heart space that acknowledges that we are consciousness, experiencing, forgetting, and remembering. Okay, so gratitude is a feeling in the heart space that acknowledges, so the heart acknowledges, it's not just a mental assent, not a mental nod, it is a heartfelt, in the heart space, acknowledgement that we are consciousness experiencing, forgetting itself and remembering itself. And in the process, in the forgetting, we live from our pain, from false identity, from attachments and judgments. And we hurt, and hurt people hurt people. And gratitude encapsulates all of that and says, I have compassion for all of us on this remembering journey. Gratitude is the ingredient. Without gratitude, I do not think that you can fully alchemize. Just without yeast and some heat, I do not think that you can make a loaf of bread. Michael J. Fox said this, and it's the way I want to end our chat today. With gratitude, optimism is sustainable. With gratitude, optimism is sustainable. Optimism, hope, believing for the best, believing in the best, believing it is all unpacking beautifully, perfectly, beyond our understanding, but still beautifully. To be able to maintain that hope, that is sustainable when you have gratitude. Okay, well, I would be so thankful if you would do a couple of things for me as I offer you these things for free. I take my time, I ponder these things, I film them, I edit them, I upload them, I blog about them, and I do this for no cost, just because I love us and I love what we are doing and how we are remembering and becoming at this time and in this space. And it just so jazzes me. So I'm asking you if you would do this for me. Would you comment below and let me know, how is this landing for you? Was it simple enough? Did it have feet that you could say, okay, now this is applicable? Okay, this is real life. Thanks, Lise. Okay, if there was a part of it that you're like, could you unpack that part just a little bit more? Please let me know. Also, if you could subscribe and like and share, those things help grow my channel. And I want to create a community for us in the next few months so that we've got a really fun space to be able to play and dance and slosh around in the shallow, the middle, and the deep end as things continue to unpack in the world. That's my dream. Will you help me make that dream a reality? Thank you. I appreciate you a lot. In the meantime, I love you. We love you. We love you. And here's a hug.